Hello, welcome to your website. I'm going to talk you through how to make changes to the content and the layout of your website. My name's Adam, and I hope you learn lots from all of this. So here we are on the home page, and you can see here we've got our great logo, a nice strong introduction to the site. And what I'm going to do is talk you through the steps to make changes here. So let's log in. Hopefully you've got your activation email and you'll be able to land here on the dashboard. Excuse me, bit of a sneeze. So as you'll see, there's a greeting page, and what you'll see once I've finished this is the video preview here. And you'll be able to watch this over and over again to remind yourself how to make the changes. Recent inquiries entries will be when people fill in the contact form. You'll see their inquiries there, or if they requested a callback perhaps. And then also here are the latest pages that have been edited on the site as well as a recent list. But most of the time what you want to do is get straight into this side of the site. So I'm logged in as you, Sam, and as you can see you can change your account details or sign out. But let's head over to entries. And as you'll see here on the sidebar, we've got pages, we've got our navigation, and then we've got inquiries from the form. So generally what you'll mostly be doing is here in pages. And as you can see, there's a list of pages that we have so far, which you can add to. And if you wanted to add to a page, you could do that right there. Just click a new entry. For the moment though, let's have a look at some of these home pages. So if we look at home, we've got a new page which allows you to make lots of changes to the site. So you've got two tabs here at the top, and in fact let's go from the very top. You've got the name of the page, you've got the revision history, and that allows you to go back in time if you made a mistake, and you can load up an old version of it and maybe get some content that you might have deleted accidentally. You can live preview, which I'll look at it in a minute, where you're making changes and it updates automatically. Share is effectively just opening the page, and then you can save it and a number of other things. For example, you could save as a new entry, so you're duplicating it, that sort of thing. Note that you can actually use a keyboard command, so as you're editing you can be pressing Apple S and it'll keep saving your page as you're editing. And that takes us on to the main body of the page. So we've got pages and SEO. In pages section we've got the title and then all the pieces of content that make up the page, which I'll go through in detail in a moment. And then you've got the SEO tab, which allows you to edit the meta description, which is the small little description that comes up on Google, and it's good to describe the page briefly, around 150 characters. And then you've got a featured image, and the reason you've got a featured image for a page is that if you share it on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest, then if somebody copies a link to your page, it will then show this in the social media channel that you've shared it on as a preview for that page. It will default to your logo if you haven't set one for each page, but if you do set one, then if you perhaps share your menu on Facebook, so if you copy the link to npcatering.co.uk/menu into Facebook, then you'll see a preview saying menu, the description of the page, and then the image as well, all in line as like a Facebook post, for example. So that gives you a bit of control for your sort of social sharing and also how Google sees you. So it's important to give that a bit of attention, and I've made the meta description a required field in case you forget to do it. So when you're creating new pages, make sure you do fill that out. Okay, so back to the content builder now. Now here on the home page, what we've got are a load of blocks. So if I collapse them all, you'll see an overview of what this page is made up of. So we've got a call to action, some text, and another call to action. So let's have a look at this. We've got the home page sort of landing splash screen, which is special for the home page. Then we've got a call to action. We've got some text, and then another call to action. And that's how we can work with these blocks here. So if we go to live preview now, let's see what happens when we reorder some of these. As you can see, here are the 3 blocks that I mentioned: the call to action, the text, and the call to action. What I can do now is put this text above the call to action, and straight away now it's changed the order of the page. So it's a very intuitive, easy to understand way of reordering content if you need to. Now if I expand the first one, we can make changes and it will update in real time, like so. So we've got the text content for this call to action block, which is here, and then I've added 2 buttons which go to contact and our story. And if you wanted to, you could change the text for that, like that. But it will default to the name of the page you're linking to. So that's a call to action. Now the text block is quite simple. You've got 2 text areas, and as you can see, I've used them both in this case. And if I took one of them away, it would then default back to a single column layout. So this is an optional second column, as you can see. So it's a nice way to set out your text when writing lots of content. Now we've also got a lot of other blocks that we can add, and they are listed here. So as you can see, we could add a quote. And as you can see, that comes up down here, like so. And there's many other different blocks that we can add. A contact form, for instance. A video. And for the video, we would paste in something from YouTube that allows you to embed that straight onto your web page. We can add an Instagram feed, which will show 4 of images of your Instagram. It's not working in the live preview, but it does work on the main site. And a map, for instance, as well. Like that. And you can give it an introduction, like so. Yes, so as you can see, you've got a number of ways of editing content. And this is the way we build up all of our pages. It's a really straightforward way to build up pages from lots of different blocks so that you can create a rich, nice web page for your users. So as you can see, I can maybe add a picture in, like so. And you can even put text on top of it. So there you go. There's lots of flexibility. Here on the image block, actually, it's quite an interesting one. We can play around with the look of things. As you can see, you can change the text color to be light or dark. And you could also move the content around. And also, if you wanted to, you could set the image to its original size rather than this cropped letterbox sort of size. And you'll see that it now goes to a full-size picture like that. So lots of flexibility for you to make changes with the site, as you can see. And it's very easy to add more of these blocks and to link to different pages or even to different pages that are external to your website. So yes, that's the basics of editing content. Let's close the live preview, and I'm going to leave my changes unsaved as we were just experimenting with that. Now, once you've got familiar with editing the content, you might want to create a new entry. So if I click on new entry, here we go, a blank page. We could call this a test page. And if I try and save it now, you'll see that what happens is it couldn't save the entry. And that's because in the SEO tab, I haven't added the meta description. So it's really important that you take the time to do that. And if I try again now, you'll see that it works. And there it is. And if I go to the test page, what happens is that it loads up with our header and footer. But at this point here, there's no content at the moment. So this is the kind of boilerplate, basic page that you get without doing anything. And then you can add to that. So with our test page, for instance, I could simply add an image and give it a title and then save it again. And now if we refresh, there we go. We've got our image block with content over the top of it, and we've begun to make our own page. And as you can see, here we are at MP Catering / test page. So you can see it's actually quite straightforward to do, I hope. Let's give you another example. Now we've created our test page, we may want to add it to our menus, because at the moment it's not up here, nor is it down here. So let's add it to the footer menu. If I click here, add a new entry, like so. I clicked on entry, then I'll choose test page, give it a title, and save it. Now that was in the footer menu. So now let's go to the website again, and it should appear down here. I just refresh the page and there it is. You could also link to it through a button, or you could put it in the header menu. I would recommend keeping the header menu as simple as possible. At the moment we've got 5 items. I'd go up to 7, but 5 is a good number. 4 or 5 is a nice clean header menu that's not got too much going on, doesn't distract the user too much. So as you can see, adding a new page is really straightforward, and it would allow you to perhaps share an event that you're talking about, and you could put the information on there and a map of the event, that sort of thing. Or you could perhaps share a promotion, anything you want for your business. There's a lot of flexibility. You've just got to come up with the ideas, and you've got the tools at your fingertips. So let's go ahead and delete that now. So I'm going to delete it from the footer menu. And also if I go to pages, I'll check it, and then I'll delete it. So now, no more page anymore. And there's an issue there that I'll fix. There seems to be a problem with the missing page. I'll sort that. So you'll see that, as you can see, adding pages and editing content hopefully is nice and easy for you to do. And you've got a few other settings that you want to change here in globals. So you've got your tagline, that we use that around the site. It's in the homepage big splash screen, but then also on every single page other than the homepage, it's up here in the top, and it's also down here in the footer. So you can alter that if you want to. We've also got the email address and phone number. If you wanted to show your address, that would show up in the footer as well. And then for social media, I've linked it to your URL for your Facebook so far and your Instagram. But if you wanted to add more of those, then that would also show up here in the footer as icons. So that then it's allowing people to find you elsewhere. It also tells Google in the code of the website what your other accounts are, so that Google understands that you've got various different social accounts. So if you do create a Twitter account, for instance, then be sure to add that in to Global's social media, and you can put in the account handle without the @ just there. So that's the global settings. You've got assets here too. You can upload PDF menus or images, and you'll see here you can then manage those easily. You can just drag, if you had your computer open, you could just drag into this area with the file, or you can use the upload file dialog like that. So that's your assets. And if you wanted to manage these, you could also double click on one, and here you can change the title of it. And the title's quite important actually, so it would be a good idea to go through your images and make sure that each title is set properly, because then Google will read that text and understand more what the image is about. So in this case, this is not a very good title name. It might be a good idea to relabel that to something better. And I'll save that. And now we've made that change and it will apply to the site. So that won't be visible to the users, but it will be read by Google, and that's a good thing. We want to make sure we've got nice descriptive titles for each of our images, and then Google will index that information and it will benefit your position on Google search results. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is a trick with images. You might have noticed before when I uploaded an image and used it as an image block, it cropped it to a letterbox. Now, in the case of the image of you, Sam, it cropped your face correctly, so you were still center of the letterbox crop. And the reason that worked is this. I actually set the focal point of the image, and you might want to do this on other shots, and then it'll crop it correctly, keeping that focal point in the center of the crop, or as close to the center as possible. So what I mean by focal point is here. So you can see I've got a dot, and I'm telling the website that this is the area of the image that I want it to prioritize if it's going to crop it. So in our case, when it did a letterbox, it made sure that that dot was in the center of the letterbox size crop. So you may have an image with something interesting that's very low down in it, so when you crop it, you're not happy with the way it worked out. By adding a focal point and dragging it around, then saving it, you'll see that it will then crop the photo on the website's page, and it will look better. And you can play with that and experiment. So it's a really powerful tool that allows you to not only add a focal point, but also, you may have noticed, you can also rotate your image and also flip it and all sorts of things like that. So you've got your own image editing software within the website as well, and that may be very useful in the future. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, get in touch, and happy editing. Good luck with the website. Bye-bye.